What's up? 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 What is up? How are y'all doing today? It is Friday, and y'all know what that means. That means we're gonna have us a good old time tonight. I am your host, Emmanuel Eman Noisette, and I want to thank each and every one of y'all for coming out to hang out with your boy today. I do appreciate it. We got a couple of things to talk about. We're not gonna be here too long. I know it's already past some people's bedtimes, and I'm not gonna keep y'all too long. But we are going to talk about some MCU updates. We're gonna get into some politics. We're gonna get into some politics. Sydney Sweeney out there saying some things. We're gonna get into that. And then we will talk about Black Panther. We got a little Black Panther that we'll get into as well. So before we get started, let me first and foremost give a couple shout outs to those who made it out early. We got King Chad is here. Appreciate you coming through. Ms. Harper coming on the replay. All good. Thank you so much. Mitch, how you doing? MC, appreciate you coming through. Jay, what is going on? Paulette, hello. Shar, how are you? Kristen Pratt holding it down for the Mod Squad. We got 60 plus here. Corey, how you doing? Lou, what is up? Only Sam K. My man John Robinson is back. Jason Rodriguez is here. Deborah Rodriguez is here as well. Ray, how are you? Treese, what is going on? Mama J is here. Amanda, what is up? My man Taz is here too. T, how are you? Ray, what is up? Tyra, what is up? Who else? Toby is here. Just Zia, come on through. Storm Shadow, appreciate you. London, all the way. Come on, Stamina. Appreciate you so much. PRR, hello. Who was this? Lawrence, what is going on? Phil Roy, appreciate you. Come on, Fluidity. There we go. My man Diddy. How are you? Not to be confused with the other Diddy. Not that one. But we got my man is back. Good to see you. Tanya, how are you? Shout out to everyone that has made it out tonight. I really do appreciate it. All right, guys, let's get into this. Like I said, I'm not going to hold y'all too long. I actually have some stuff I got to work on over this weekend, so I do have to kind of cut this a little short, but we're going to get into this one way or another. Let's see. Okay, what you got? Dancing Dog, what you got? E-Man, I left Twitter after the election, but I have to say, recast T'Challa eternally. I've been for a recast since day one, had people mock me, but it's all good. I'll have the last laugh. Peace, folks. Hey, it's all good. All good. Listen, I told everybody when we started talking about recast T'Challa, it was going to be a long marathon. People was going to get in their feelings. People were not going to listen to logic. They were not going to see. They were going to see the tree and miss the forest, right? So, like, don't feel bad. Once it hits the screen, people are going to be like, oh, you know what? Actually, this is actually a pretty good idea. I'm glad we got a T'Challa back. Like, so it is perfectly okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Thank you for supporting the channel that way. Lawrence, what you got? Happy Black History Month. Yes, happy Black History Month indeed to everyone out there for sure. Thank you so much for that. Let's see. JN coming through. Ready for the live tonight. Made myself a chicken Caesar wrap marinated in chicken and jerk seasoning. Pro tip: grab a cane sauce and Wingstop ranch. Ooh, those are some great tips. Thank you so much. And I do need to still go eat dinner too. That's another reason why I'm gonna cut this short, because I got to go eat too. But thank you so much. That was wonderful. All right, let's start off with some of the bad news. Now, we weren't here last week, so I'm gonna do a little catch up and go over some stuff that we missed last week and just kind of talk about some things. And of course, we do have, unfortunately, the bad news of Catherine O'Hara. She has passed away, in case you did not know. That is Kevin's mom from Home Alone. Probably one of her most famous roles, but of course not her only role. If you recall, she was also in Beetlejuice. She's most recently, at least I remember her from Last of Us. I forget the other show. She's in another show right now that's currently playing, but man, it's just one of those things that, like, which is unfortunate. It's not until they're gone that you realize the impact that they've left, given all the work that they've done. And I mean, Catherine has definitely been. I mean, my kids were literally just watching Home Alone like a couple weeks ago, like, and I wasn't even paying attention, to what they were watching until I heard that infamous Kevin, like once I heard that, I was like, oh, y'all watching Home Alone, she will always stay in the memories. And once again, no bad, nobody had nothing bad to say, and that's always a good way to leave when you do. I believe this was of natural causes, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. But absolutely will be missed for sure. Oh yeah, she's on Schitt's Creek. Yep, Schitt's Creek as well. What else do we? Oh, we lost another one. We lost another one as well. This is Grady Wilson. For those of you that don't know, that is he played Lamont in Sanford and Son. I mean, another TV icon. I know when I was growing up, I was watching this on what was that, Nick at Night or whatever it was. It was on some rerun loop, but that's the way I caught it. That's the way I watched Sanford and Son at that time. And yeah, Lamont was definitely a TV icon to me anyway. Just like Red Fox was as well. Classic show. But the brother left us at 79. So definitely sad, but once again, we lost some good folks out there. We lost some good people. Feel free to share anything. If you guys have any fond memories of either one of them, feel free to share them in the comments down below. All right, now let's get on to some quick updates. We'll go through some news that happened with different movies and entertainment. One thing we have is this is funny because my wife is literally watching this right now. Actually, she fell asleep, so it's watching her. But Dirty Dancing, made famous with Jennifer Grey and Patrick Swayze. Dirty Dancing 2 is moving forward, and Jennifer Grey is going to come back and reprise her role. Filming is going to happen sometime later this year. I listen. I know that there are a lot of people that love Dirty Dancing. I'm not gonna say that it was bad. I'm just gonna say, like, I watched it, I liked it, but nothing about it to me says, oh man, I need a sequel. I just, once Patrick Swayze passed away, to me, it was kind of like, we don't need to redo or continue. We don't need to do Ghost again. We don't need to do Roadhouse again. We don't need to do Dirty Dancing. Like, to me, it was kind of like, we're good, right? Patrick Swayze was definitely a top tier actor back in the day, and he did what he did. I don't think we need to continue it. But if you're a fan of the Dirty Dancing film, do you want a sequel? Do you think we need a sequel? Feel free to let me know. Now this is something else that I didn't grow up on this. I know a lot of other people love it, and this sometimes it can divide, I think, the anime fan base. But I was not a fan of Gundam, but Netflix has signed a deal to release a live action Gundam movie, and Sydney Sweeney and Noah Centineo is going to be in it. I don't know. I never really got the hype with Gundam. And this is coming from a fan of Transformers, a fan of Power Rangers. Like, two things that I missed the boat on, it was Voltron and Gundam. And I was too busy watching Dragon Ball Z. I just could not get into Gundam like that. I was watching Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, couldn't get into it. But there is going to be a live action one that Netflix is going to put out. Honestly, I don't even know if that's a good thing or bad thing, because live actions, sometimes they hit, like that. The Airbender one, that's hitting. The One Piece one, that's doing well. But man, like that Death Note, that was trash. That was horrendously bad. So we'll have to see how that goes. And they are doing a live action Voltron. Sterling K. Brown is actually doing that as well. So that is good news right there. Hold on now. Hold on. Let me highlight this real quick. E-Man, I got my Sinners Y'all Clan hoodie. I love it. Yes. Thank you. Fun fact, I actually sent one to Ryan Coogler. Just cuz. I was just like, hey man, what size are you? I just sent him one. Just we'll see what happens. But yes, I'm glad you got that. Thank you so much for getting yours. Appreciate that. Let's see. Oh, dance. I didn't know this. Demond Wilson was not only on Sanford and Son, but he was on the new Odd Couple. He was a prolific Broadway actor, and he could also sing and dance. Rest in peace. I did not know that. That's dope. I did not know that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Let's see. Am I doing a watch party for Doomsday? Of course. Yeah, absolutely. What I really need to figure out is if and when and how to do a watch party for Michael. I just saw the trailer. I can't play it today. I wanted to play it, but that Michael trailer is looking good. That movie looks solid. Like I want to do a watch party for Michael. That's what I really want to do. What else do we have? Oh, Gendy from Samurai Jack Primal is reportedly developing an animated Game of Thrones project about the sea snake. Ooh. Listen, Gendy could do whatever, and I'm there. I'm still watching Primal right now, season 3, and he gonna do a Game of Thrones anime. Man, I'm with this. And the sea snake, he does have like a whole lore to him that I don't know. Now, if you are a Game of Thrones fan and you read the books, maybe y'all know more than me about this. I haven't read it, but man, that thing, count me in for that. We got some business news when it comes to Disney. Bob Iger is out of there. He's out of there. And now Josh D'Amaro will become the new CEO of Disney next month. Now, just so you know, Josh has been he was like the head exec or whatever of the theme parks. This lets me know that this was a business move, right? Now they've been grooming him to be the CEO for a while now. Like he's always been one of those top candidates. But here's the thing. This ain't the first time we've had somebody from the theme parks show up as the CEO. Remember, that was Bob Chapek too. So, you know, and I understand Disney's main moneymaker is the theme parks. So you don't want to really have the entertainment people being the head because that's not the crux of your business. You need whoever is going to drive business to the theme parks. That has to be your main leader. I get that. But I just hope that Josh learns the lessons from Bob Chapek and just let the creatives do what they got to do. I don't know nothing about Dana Walden. They said that she's going to be the president and chief creative officer of the company. Listen, just let them do what they got to do. That's all. That's all I ask. Don't get in their way. Just chill out. Let's see. Actually, we could stick on Disney for a little bit. Taika Waititi says that his upcoming Star Wars movie will harness a little bit more of the fun from the original films. He says the stakes are very high and there are serious things going on, but there's also a lot of fun to be had. Sir, I don't trust you. I don't. I mean, don't get me wrong. This man did Jojo Rabbit. This man gave us Thor Ragnarok. I'm just saying I have trust issues after Thor Love and Thunder. Like a little bit of fun from Taika Waititi. I don't know if I trust that anymore. I need to know. I would love to hear from him. What did you learn from Thor Love and Thunder that you not gonna do in this Star Wars movie? And first of all, we don't even know if this, well, let me pull that back. I was gonna say we don't even know if this Star Wars movie is even gonna happen. We don't even know that. But Kathleen Kennedy's not there no more, so maybe it will. Maybe we will actually get some action from Star Wars and get some things greenlit and get going. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Right now, hearing a little bit more fun from Taika, it's giving yellow, almost orange flag to me. There's a whole lot of caution right now. Oh, okay. One more from Disney here. We talked about this with Pirates of the Caribbean. I forget how many movies they've even made. I think they own what, 7, 8? I don't know. I stopped after 3. It was getting too redundant. Then the whole Johnny Depp thing was going down the whole, with the trial and everything, and that was a whole big deal. Too much. But they keep trying to revive the Pirates of the Caribbean, and I think there was one with an all-female version with Margot Robbie, and then there was another one, and whatever. But now we have, at least from Jeff Snyder, Insider, he's reporting that we are getting a reboot, and it is in the works, but it's focused on Jack Sparrow's son. I don't know about this. I don't know about this. Like, to me, the Pirates movies were only entertaining when Johnny Depp was he was the focal point. The moment they started to shift the focal point away from Jack Sparrow specifically, and that's a great question. That's a great question. Who the mama? We know who the pappy is. Who the mama? Who in their right mind laid up with Jack Sparrow? Who and why? That might be a bigger movie in itself. Why does Jack Sparrow have a son? Like, how? Just too many questions. But are y'all about to do, like, I've never really been a big fan of the legacy sequels that carry on with the son. Because I remember there used to be a animated TV show. I don't know if y'all was old enough for this. I think some of y'all were. It was a Saturday morning cartoon. It was James Bond, not the regular James Bond, James Bond Jr. And I remember watching this like, why didn't y'all just make this about James Bond? Like, y'all could have just made a TV series, animated, and make it about just a young James Bond. Why would you make him James Bond Jr.? It felt so weird. It felt so just like out of it. It was just weird to me. So this is also not going to. And again, is Johnny Depp going to be in this? Because that's the other question. Like, if he's not in this, who are you going to get to play this son? And why should we care? Why? I don't know. Anyway, we have another film coming up here. A Chia Pet movie, an animated movie, is being considered for development. And the only relevant thing that could follow up with this is the prevailing question of why. Who thought of this? Who thought of this and why? Like, why are you able to still have a job? Why are you able to come up with these ideas and not get cussed out? Like, because I'm for real curious as to what is going on in these boardrooms. Was this a joke? Actually, I really want to know this too. Was this really a joke? Did you really start off and be like, it'd be funny, a Chia Pet animated movie? Like, if it was a joke, fine. But somebody out there at a studio literally said, all them tens of millions of dollars we got, we should make a Chia Pet movie. Why? Out of all the things that y'all can make movies of. Okay. All right. We talked about He-Man before, and Jared Leto is playing Skeletor, who, by the way, the Skeletor, at least in the trailer, that looked great. Like there was some shaky things about the trailer, but Skeletor looked amazing. Like the costume, the CGI, whatever they did with him, I like that. But it says here, and I guess this is from Travis Knight, the director. Skeletor is the embodiment of toxic masculinity in the Masters of the Universe movie. Jared Leto wanted to swing for the fences. Okay. What does that mean? And second of all, how I don't even want to say it. I was gonna say how woke is it? I don't even want to get into that because that's stupid. But like, what are y'all about to do? Because Skeletor is the epitome of a bad guy, like in all walks of life. He's just a bad guy. Is he about to be smacking some chicks around? Because I feel like that's what he's going to do. I feel like that's what he did in the TV series to some extent. Because something tells me he's going to be smacking women around. He's going to be telling them, calling them out their names. And they're saying that Jared wanted to swing for the fences. Jared Leto does a lot of things. I don't know if he should be swinging for anything. Yellow flag. I'm gonna just say yellow flag, okay? Because we've dealt with with Leto as Joker. We've dealt with him as Morbius. Just yellow flag. I don't know. I'm not convinced. I'll tell you one thing I am convinced about. That's this first look that we got of Henry Cavill as Highlander. Let me make this a little bigger. Hey, Henry Cavill with a big old sword, chopping people's heads off. Directed by the John Wick director. I'm there. I am there. Okay? Like, I like Highlander. I watched the TV series. I'm with this. Okay? I am with all of this. Let me have it. So I am down for Henry Cavill doing this Highlander. He looks great. He's got the trench coat. I'm with it. Another first look we got. Unfortunately, I couldn't play the trailer, but we got a first look at the Jacksons. Okay, we got Mama Jackson. And then and that's played by Nia Long. And then we got Joe Jackson. Oh my God. That's Coleman Domingo. When I tell you, I didn't even recognize him until he started to talk. Once he started to talk, that's when I was like, yo, I haven't even watched the movie yet. And this man is already starting the campaign for Best Supporting Actor for this year. Already. Because if you watch the trailer, he does kind of, you get a little bit more of Joe Jackson. And Joe Jackson is a very polarizing figure. Okay, if you know the story. So shout out to the makeup and wardrobe team. This does not look like Coleman Domingo at all. And Coleman, y'all know, especially if you watch The Color Purple, you know he could play a mean man. He could play a mean man. Like it's almost a little too easy for him. And I've met him in real life. Super nice guy. Extremely nice. That's what makes me appreciate him so much, because he does such a 180 when he gets into character. He gets into character. I can't wait for this movie. I feel like this. You know what? I might say I might just go on a limb. Michael could be this year's Sinners. Is it too early for me to call this? And I'm only going off a trailer. I'm going off of it's Antoine Fuqua. I'm going off of you got the Bohemian Rhapsody folks, behind this, who did a good job with Elvis and Bohemian Rhapsody. You got a cultural icon in Michael Jackson being portrayed here. This could be the cultural movie of the year. Because if y'all recall, that VH1 series, the Jackson 5 series, that thing had us in a chokehold for decades. Like, I could still watch that VH1 series today and be like, that is the definitive Jackson 5 story. This might take it over. This has potential. There have been a lot of challengers. There have been a lot of Michael Jackson movies in our lifetime. We're not going to talk about you, Flex. We've talked about Flex a long time. We're not going to talk about you. But this could be it. This could be the next big thing. I don't know what it is. Listen, you know, whether it's the critic radar, whether it's just the black intuition, something is telling me this movie could be it for this year. I have to come back to this later. I have to let this movie do 500 million. Let this movie do 500 million. I'm going to have to come back to this. I'm going to have to. Something else I got a good feeling of. We talked about this last time. We finally got our Kratos and God of War. Now we getting some of the other characters. Alistair Duncan will play Mimir in the God of War series. Already got the part. Already looks the part, got the part. You got it, sir. Looks just like him. No makeup needed. Just show up on set, put them little horns on. You got it. And Mandy Patinkin has been cast as Odin in the live action series. Oh my God. Like, it's so easy to cast these people. It's so easy. They doing it so well. So well. And look at it. Thor, first of all, what is this man's name? Olafur Dari Olafsson? Bro, you sound like Thor already. You sound like you came as a direct descendant of Vikings from, come on, man. Come on, man. And he's a big dude. He might be Thor in disguise in real life. I love everything about the casting so far for God of War. I like the fact that Amazon is putting some money behind this. I like the fact that they're doing a great job, at least visually, with the casting. I have a good feeling about this. I have a good feeling about this. So I'm looking forward to this for sure. Now let's kind of shift a little bit into horror a little bit. A24 has officially acquired the rights for Texas Chainsaw Massacre. A TV series will happen first, and that's going to be coming from Glenn Powell. Interesting. Okay. And a movie is also in the early stages of development. Let me tell you something. That last Texas Chainsaw movie, the one that came out in like early 2000s, something like that, I want to say, because I remember I saw it in college. That movie was amazing. That movie, I remember walking out the theater because, you know, I was at shout out to U of I, Champaign-Urbana. So we had cornfields out there. Okay. Down south in Illinois, we had some cornfields out there. When I tell you I was driving back to campus and I was seeing them cornfields and I was like, man, my car better not break down. Because I'm definitely not going out. No, I'm not talking to nobody. That movie had me shook up. So the fact that now A24, who has a pretty good track record, I think, when it comes to horror movies, now that they want to do this, I'm with it. I am with this. So I'm looking forward to this. I think they will do a good job. Now, a TV series, I don't really know how that's going to work, but we will see. Next up, we have a little bit more news about The Exorcist. That is coming from Mike Flanagan, who I am very excited for because this man has done some amazing work. We heard that Scarlett Johansson was going to playing it. They also had Diane Lane is in it, but now we're gonna add a little flavor. We're gonna add a little flavor because here comes Baron Mordo. Chiwetel Ejiofor is now cast in The Exorcist. I'm here for that. Fantastic actor. You know, whatever he's in, you already know he gonna bring his A game. And then on top of that, Morpheus. Lawrence Fishburne has also been cast in this Exorcist movie. Listen, this is a nice lineup. Okay, you got ScarJo, man. Listen, you almost got a little bit of the MCU all together again. Okay, you almost got a nice little reunion. But I'm with this. Mike Flanagan is already top tier. Then you got Chiwetel, you got Fishburne and ScarJo. I like the makings of all of this. I think this is going to be a solid film for sure. Next up, we have who I still believe is the master of horror of our generation. And I really wish he would get back in the director's chair. James Wan. He says that they plan to take the Saw franchise back to Jigsaw's real philosophy. In case you did not know, the rights of the Saw franchise have gone back to James Wan and Lee Weidel, and they both were the ones that gave us the original Saw, right? And he says here that Jigsaw goes after people who don't appreciate their lives. If you're a scumbag, but you appreciated your life, he doesn't see you as someone who's wasting your life. So I want to go back to what we touched on in the first movie with regard to that. Thank you. Thank you. I like that because that's what made Saw so interesting. It wasn't just the body horror. It wasn't just the torment. That was one aspect for sure. And that was a time to be alive, right? It was a phase in movies where we were actually watching the body horror, the Hostels. What else was out there? It was Saw, it was Hostel, Texas Chainsaw. It was a bunch of different torture porn type of films out there. But what made Saw interesting was the fact that they really did give us a complex villain. I mean, Jigsaw wasn't just doing this just to mess with people. He was doing with people that deserved it. I always thought it was interesting that Jigsaw would put people in a position where they had to make a choice. And it was kind of like, did he commit the crime? I mean, yeah, maybe kidnapping, but did he? You know, it was always kind of interesting that way. I don't know. But I am glad to hear that James Wan is back in the driver's seat and they're going to get that back, hopefully, on track. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't sound like he wants to direct. So we'll see. Here's a highly requested update from many of you. But the final Fast and Furious movie is now going to be titled Fast Forever. And yes, it is still coming March 17th, 2028. They're never going to let this die. They're never going to let this die. But Fast Forever. That's what it is. Okay. That's what they're going to call that. Another highly requested update that some of you wanted, and I've already told y'all I'm not going to review this. I'm not going to watch this. At no point in time would I ever give this any other time of day. But I'll give y'all an update on Melania. Yes, Melania, the new documentary about the First Lady, has debuted with a 7% Rotten Tomatoes score. And one of the critics said, I'd rather rewatch January 6th. Hot damn. Now that's a take. Yikes. Keep in mind, this is the same documentary that no one asked for, no one was interested in, and Amazon decided to pay for the rights. I don't want to say directly to Trump's, but pay for the rights about $40 million. Way more than any documentary ever. $40 million for a documentary nobody cared about. Now let me be fair, because I'm not gonna be on here, well, God forbid I say anything bad, because when you live in a fascistic state, if you say bad things politically, you might get got. So I do have some good news when it comes to the Melania documentary. If we fast forward, this was taken when it first came out back in January 30th. So let's fast forward to today. It is now at 8%. All right. So it is at 8% on Rotten Tomatoes with a whopping 50 reviews. So there you go. I believe some reports have said that the vast majority of people that have watched this were older white women. I'm pretty sure they came from red states, but yeah, that's great. That's great. Would you look at that? I haven't even looked at this, but did y'all know that there was another documentary that came out? And look how fitting that is. Yeah, that's right. Michelle Obama's 2020 Netflix doc, Becoming, surges during the opening weekend of Melania. Would you look at that? And here's the thing. This thing came out in May 2020, but it jumped 13. How much? Let me get this up there. How much did it jump by? It jumped 13,300% in total minutes watched. Wow. I've always thought it was very funny and interesting how there was such a weird competition between the presidents and the first ladies. Hey, don't forget, let me copy your speech and act like nobody will know. We know. And we're not even going to get into other certain things that happened recently, because that's a whole nother conversation right there. Speaking of which, might as well get this out the way too. We talked about the whole WB Netflix deal, how Paramount is all in their feelings, and how clearly the government is trying to, or this current administration is trying to interfere. Right? We already talked about it. Ellison was talking about, I'm going to talk to Mr. Trump and we're going to get this, we're going to work this out. And okay, we already know that if you pay for play, if you pay for favors, if you get in good, and if you glaze the president just enough, you will get what you want. It's very transactional. So here's the thing. President Trump now says that he won't involve himself in the fight between Netflix and Paramount for WB. He says, I've been called by both sides, but I've decided I shouldn't be involved. The Justice Department will handle it. The Justice Department? The same Justice Department that basically does everything that Donald Trump wants them to do? The Justice Department that stopped being an independent branch of government starting with this current administration? Are you going to send another Truth Social post to tell the Justice Department where they should rule? Like, because Like that didn't say anything. It didn't mean anything. You've already politicized the Justice Department where it does not act independently. So it's still you. It's still you. Anyway, you guys let me know. What do you think about all these little quick topics? Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. DJ, Fallout, have you watched it? If so, thoughts. I have watched only season 1. I have not watched season 2 yet. I'm waiting to binge it. Did Fallout finish? I don't know if it finished or not. But I do plan on watching season 2 because I really enjoyed season 1. So I will be watching it, just not yet. Let's see. Chad, what you got? Does E-Man know that I can talk with Ryan? I sold lots of my Lego sets so I can get charity for St. Jude. Have plans as smart as T'Challa. If I can get a little bit of time with Ryan, that's my BP mission. Hey, that's fantastic. Now, I don't know Ryan like that. I can't set nothing up like that, you know. Shoot, if that was the case, I'd love to get a meet up with Ryan like that, but no. But I would say this. If you are planning to do any type of charity work, just do it, right? Like I would just say do the work, and then if it gets attention, that's great. But if it doesn't get attention from Ryan or the cast or whatever, then that shouldn't matter either. Because anytime we do any type of charity, it really should be for the actual cause and not for any type of attention that we get. When we were doing the Recast T'Challa stuff, and I was selling the t-shirts, I wasn't doing that for attention. I wasn't doing that for self-glory or, you know, to get likes or views. We just donated that money because I just didn't feel good making money off of this man's passing, right? So I would encourage you to just go ahead, do what you want to do with any type of charitable efforts that you want, and maybe it'll get the attention of folks. And if it doesn't, hey, guess what? You still made some kids, you know, or families' life a little bit better when it comes to St. Jude, because that's a fantastic organization. But thank you so much for sharing that. I really appreciate it. Sorry. Larry, what you got? Yo, E-Man, I recently saw Moses the Black, and it was really interesting. Omar Epps was great, and Wiz Khalifa was pretty decent too. Takes place in present-day Chicago, but with flashbacks to ancient Egypt too. I did not know that. Yeah, I'm not aware of Moses the Black. Let me see. Oh, okay. All right. I remember this. I remember seeing the trailer for this. I just never watched it. But hey, if you say it's good, that's great. That's great. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. John, what you got? Hey, off subject. Is Wonder Man going to have a second season? How it went off? We will actually talk about that when we get to the Marvel topic, so stay tuned. Thank you so much. Dancing Dog, what you got? Back to Highlander. I need Van Peebles in it, man. I mean, listen, I'll take Van Peebles if he wants to do it. But I'm still here for everything and anything Highlander. Dancing, what you got? Diesel helped get me some cheeks. True story. Did it? Wow. Okay. That's great. I don't know how, but okay. Let's see. Quiet One. Fast and Furious will only end when Vin Diesel retires. I mean, the question is, will he retire? And when will that happen? Who knows? Natalie, what you got? Got laid off this week. Oh, no. But had an interview today. Okay. I'm a journalist in media. It's crazy right now. I'm glad you're speaking on this, E-Man. Oh, man, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm glad you got the interview. Hopefully you get called back and that turns into something for sure. But, man, so sorry. I've heard that there were some layoffs going around lately, especially when it comes to the entertainment space for sure. So thank you for that. But, yeah, definitely hoping that everything works out for you. Sterling, what you got? Yo, E-Man, have you seen the crazy good show called From? Show is a total bait. You play it, right? Nah, I don't know nothing about From. Nope, never heard. What's From? What's From? Never heard of it. That sounds like a crazy name for a crazy show. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. That was funny. That's funny. JN, hear me out. Google the CEO of Netflix's wife guarantee that the aggravating aggravating the Paramount brothers rumored 20 to 40 mil was given for the rights to Melania. Yeah. I mean, that would not be surprised. Listen, when it comes to all these billionaires and stuff, nothing surprises me anymore. If you tell me they went to a certain island, I believe it. You tell me they did some bribery with it, I believe it. Like I don't put nothing past anybody that has money, power, and privilege at all. Nothing at all. Dancing, what you got? E-Man, is Sweeney the real life character Denise Richards played in Undercover Brother? I seriously have to ask that question. She fine, but I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we'll talk about Sydney in a minute. We will get to her in a minute, but I don't know. I think that's up to her. She needs to define that. Natalie, I don't know what color contacts Epps is wearing in Moses. Oh no. Oh no. Is he doing was that for a purpose? Did he do it? I don't know. Okay. Let's see. Oh, Chad, you were asking if I know how to talk to Ryan or Michael B. No, I don't. The only times I get it is if there's a press junket opportunity or if I'm going to an award show and they happen to be there. I don't have nobody's number. I don't have anyone's email. It's not, I don't have it like that. Sorry. And even if I did, to be honest with you, that would not be something I could just give out anyway, right? Like that's not something that, it's not professional. It's not professional because if somebody trusts me with that kind of information, I can't just be like, hey y'all, here's Michael B. Jordan's personal cell phone. I can't do that. I could if I had it, but I don't. So Kat, what you got? The Fast Forever story is going to get bad because of Dom's son's age difference from the last movie. Is that the only factor? Like, I wish the age difference was the only thing that was bad about Fast and Furious films. I wish that was it. If only that would be like a Stranger Things problem. Fast and Furious has so many bigger problems beyond that age difference. I don't even care if Dom's son shows up as a teenager. I wouldn't care. It wouldn't make a difference. This thing has been on the down. It's been bad since 8. And that's being generous to Fast 7 because we know that was the tribute episode. And they should have stopped it at 7. But it's been bad for a long time. Long time. I'm not going to blink. If that kid shows up as a grown man, I won't even care. We're too far gone. Diddy, what you got? Who does better horror, A24 or Blumhouse? Now, I love this question. So, I would say that, and this is going off the top of my head, Blumhouse focuses on low budget, let's just say cheap horror, affordable horror, right? It's the great value horror. And they focus on low budget and quantity, which means sometimes you will actually get some stuff from Blumhouse that hits. However, you will also get inundated with a whole bunch of stuff that's just crap as well. A24, on the other hand, they focus more on quality. They will make sure that if you get a horror movie, usually a lot of thought, a lot of creativity, a lot of originality is put into it. And now we see that they're expanding their portfolio. So I would say A24 probably has more hits than misses, even though Blumhouse has been swinging all over the place, right? And they have some hits too. So I'm going to lean A24 because I would prefer quality over quantity any day. So that's where I would lean with it. Thank you for that. All right, where are we getting to? Let's talk about Sydney Sweeney, aka the MAGA Barbie, Sydney Sweeney. In case you did not know, she has been in the news lately, along with a bunch of other celebrities, because politics are starting to rise to the top. Politics are now starting to become a thing. So she is now a thing, right? She is getting into the headlines now. So recently, it says here that she addressed the fact that she's been labeled as the MAGA Barbie. All right. So let's kind of now, just to give a little background about this, one of the reasons why she's been labeled as the MAGA Barbie is because after that American Eagle jeans commercial, remember she has good jeans, haha. The president came out and was like, "Oh, I like Sydney Sweeney. I heard she a Republican too." So and a lot of the conservatives, a lot of right-wing folks came to her defense, came to her support. They were all on her side. And that's why she's been tied to right-wing MAGA camp. And people have been calling her the MAGA Barbie. So she has come out and commented on that about being labeled as such. She says here, "I've never been here to talk about politics. I've always been here to make art. So this is just not a conversation I want to be the forefront of. And I think because of that, people want to take it even further and use me as their own pawn. But it's somebody else assigning something to me, and I can't control that." We're gonna get back to that. Let me. So Cosmo asked her why she doesn't correct assumptions about herself, right? And she says, "I haven't figured it out. I'm not a hateful person. If I say that's not true, they'll come at me like, you're just saying that to look better. There's no winning. There's never any winning. I just have to continue being who I am because I know who I am. I can't make everyone love me. I know what I stand for. And here's the problem. I don't know what you stand for. You know why? Because you haven't said anything. I was reading this book once. I think it was like, what is it? The 48 Laws of Power or something like that. And one of the things that they talked about was a section about your reputation, right? And how your reputation, it precedes you. Whenever you walk into a room, your reputation is what happens. If you're a nice person, if you're not even in the room, your reputation of being a nice person, that's what people gonna know and talk about. So if somebody talks bad about you, they'll be like, we're not gonna talk bad about Keanu Reeves. That's a stand-up dude right there, right? Because that's his reputation. So Sydney Sweeney sitting here saying, I can't control that. Yes, you can. You know how you can control other people from saying and talking on your behalf? By speaking the hell up, by saying something. That's how you control that. And one of the things in the book was that when you don't speak up, when you don't say anything, people are now allowed to create the narrative about you for you. So if you're dealing with some BS at your job and you never speak up, you never really do anything, and you just let people talk and talk and talk and talk, guess what? When you're not in the room, it's going to be that talk that now defines you because you never came in to redefine yourself. And I'm sorry, you sitting here talking about you know what you stand for. If you don't tell people what you stand for, don't nobody know. Or they will put you to stand for whatever they want you to stand for. And I'm sorry. This is no longer, I don't know what, 2002. We no longer live in an era where politics is just politics, where, yeah, politics is just about the economy. Politics is about healthcare. We're not at that point anymore. We are now in an age where politics literally costs lives. We are now at an age where politics has enforced secret mass police to kidnap you off the streets, ask you for your papers, going door to door, and killing, if not murdering, American legal citizens in broad daylight. We are no longer at the point where you can sit back casually and be like, I don't know nothing about that. Because if you don't know nothing about that, and you have the privilege and the platform to speak out against it, you are complicit. You don't have that luxury anymore, Sydney Sweeney, to be ignorant about what's going on in these streets. Because these politics, one way or another, they are real life at this point. We're not just talking about the tax brackets anymore. We're talking about your neighbor, people at your school, your friends' schools or colleges or whatever. We're talking about people to your left and your right might get kidnapped, might get killed in the street because of policies you might have voted for. That's what we're talking about. And if you don't have the guts and the courage to stand up against that, don't sit here and talk about I'm against hate. I don't know what you think is hate. You need to call that out. You need to stand up and actually say, I don't support this current policy. I don't support this politician. I don't support that, because guess what? We are at that moment in our lives where 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now, your kids, my grandkids, etc., they're going to read about this in the history books. We are living in that moment right now where we are living in the middle of a significant point of history. And somewhere down the line, 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now, people are going to ask, what did you do back then? What were you doing back then? Just like if I was a black man living in the 60s and my grandkid would ask me, hey, granddad, did you go out in March? What were you doing during that time? It's the same way we could even ask some of our, some people that have Jewish grandparents, German grandparents who fought in World War II. Hey, where were you in 1930s when Hitler was doing what he was doing, when the Holocaust was happening? What were you doing? Oh, you were silent? Oh, you were just doing your art as an actor? Oh, you didn't have an opinion? While millions of people were in detainment camps and gas chambers, you didn't have an opinion on politics? We're past that point. And this is the point where I need every journalist, every person that's talking to Sydney Sweeney, don't let her or anybody else off the hook. Because I want to know for the record, where were you? I want to know for the record, what did you say? Because when stuff like this is going down in the real streets and real blood, American blood, actually, it don't even matter if it's American, if it's foreign, if it's a migrant, we have blood in the streets. You don't get to be silent about that and then try to act as though I'm for love and not hate. Because last time I checked, even people that stand for love talk against and call out direct hatred. So yeah, miss me with all this. I can't control that. Nah, you can't control it. What did she say? Oh, yeah, it was this part right here. If I say that's not true, you're just saying that that's just trying to, you're just saying that to look better, there's no winning. Who are you trying to win over? Who are you trying to win over? There's never only winning. Guess what? There's never any winning. Let me tell you something. I don't want to win with racists. I don't need them to agree with me. I don't want to win with xenophobic white supremacists. I don't give a damn what they think about me. If anybody's even watching this channel, if you racist, I don't know why you're here, but kick rocks with flip-flops. I don't need to win that. I don't care. I don't care if half my channel disappears because some white folks want to be racist or whatever. I don't want y'all here. I don't want any bigots here. So what are you talking about? There's never any winning. There shouldn't be any winning. Let me tell you something. Jesus, one of the most recognizable figures on this planet, whether you Christian or not, even he said, I didn't come to bring peace. I came to bring a sword. What did that mean? That means that he did not come to just kumbaya and bring everybody together. He came to tell the truth. He came, and guess what? The truth divides people. I'm not trying to preach to y'all. I'm just trying to illustrate that even somebody who comes in love, when you come in love and you speak up and you speak truth to power, you're going to lose people. I know you're worried about your box office and your numbers, but guess what? You should be worried about the fact that you got a bigoted side of people out there that are crowning you as the MAGA Barbie, and you're too scared to say anything against that. Maybe it's worth the risk. And if we're being very honest, let's be honest. Sydney Sweeney, I don't know her personally or none. You a blonde, pretty girl with big boobs. I think you'll be fine in Hollywood. Just a guess. Just a guess. I think the people you're afraid of losing, I think they'll still tune in for other reasons. Just throwing it out there. I think you'll be all right. 2 big reasons why, right? So then she goes on to say this, and this was in the other interview. She says, I don't support the views of some people who chose to connect to the campaign. Many have assigned motives and labels to me that just aren't true. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm always trying to bring people together. I'm against hate and divisiveness. Yeah. So again, I don't know you, woman. I don't know you. The only thing I can judge you by is what you say, what you do, and what you don't say, and what you don't do. That's the only way I get to know who you are. So you sitting there talking about you don't support the views. Views of who? Say it. Say who they are. I don't know who these people are. Who are you talking about? Stop being scared. Grow up. You're 28 years old. It's okay. You're not like 18. It's one thing if you was a little kid, I understand that, right? You're 28. You are a full-grown adult. You do not have the luxury or privilege to be ignorant anymore. And you cannot ride the fence in the face of the nonsense that we're going through right now. So anyway, I'm gonna leave it right there. Y'all let me know, what do you think about Sydney Sweeney's comments? How do you feel about her stance of non-stance? I don't know, whatever it is. Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right. Let's see. Do need to get this. Okay, got that. Okay. Okay. Turn this off. All right. Okay, let me see. Oh, we got some comments. All right, hold on. Let's see. Is that Blumhouse you meant? Lost major points with me on Halloween. 2018 was fine, but the rest had me pissed. I'll say A24 has more hits. Yes. The Halloween sequel was terrible. The Halloween's oof. They came out decent, but then after that, it went downhill fast. Very, very fast. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, we'll skip that. Thank you for the comment though, Black. Um just FYI, I talk about what I want to talk about. It's that simple. My channel, I talk about what I want to talk about. Thank you for the support. And I hear you, but it's as simple as I just talk about what I want to talk about. Dancing Dog, what you got? Sweeney ain't no Jane Fonda. That's a callback. That's an old school callback right there. That's an old school callback. Let's see. Sweeney is what BBD sang about without the butt. That is what it is. Let's see. DJ, politics today will ruin your career in any category. Hey, so be it. Like, listen, at the end of the day, sacrifices might need to be made. Like we just saw that, especially with the Grammys. You got a whole bunch of people speaking out. I'd rather people speak out than just act as though I don't know. I don't get into politics. I don't know, Davey. I don't know. Because you know why I say that? I always think about, and this has just been something I've always thought of whenever I learn different history and stuff. I've always felt and always wondered, what were people doing or thinking in the 1930s while Hitler and fascism was on the rise in Nazi Germany? What were they doing? Because again, you could only get so much from a history book. You could only get, you don't really know what that day-to-day life was within 10 years. Keep in mind, by the way, Hitler was getting popular in the 1920s, but we only learn about and we only emphasize the Holocaust and what happens in World War II. That's the only thing. If you read the history books in your textbook, that's all you see. You don't see what happened 15 to 20 years in between all that time and understand the day-to-day. So I sit here and think about that all the time. I'm like, yo, like, were there other political people, professional people that were ruining their careers? And was it worth it? Because like, what were you doing at that time? So even on this channel, like, I usually do not go into politics, but once again, it's getting beyond that point. Like, it is getting bad. It is getting very, very real out there. Not doing this. Let's see. Where's dancing? It don't matter where your heart is if your head is up your cheeks. I mean, yeah. yeah. JN, y'all got E-Man in the scriptures. Go ahead, Pastor. Listen, I ain't trying to preach to nobody. I'm just trying to prove a point. That's all. I don't want nobody coming in here like, oh, here he go with the Christian stuff. And listen, I can only speak off of what I know. That's my faith. That's all I know. That's it. All right. DJ, thank you, E-Man. I love this channel. I love this community. Things like this need to be talked about, and I myself learn new things every day. I hate the hate. Keep calling a spade, my friend. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. And I will do my best. What you got? Sternal Jet. Thank you so much. This is a difficult topic for me as a Minnesota Leo. What's a Leo? What's a LEO? I don't know what that means. I see the real hurt and frustration communities are experiencing. While I lean right politically, I've grown increasingly uneasy how things are being handled overall. You know what? First of all, thank you for your honesty. Like I appreciate. Oh, law enforcement officer. Thank you. Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting. Thank you for your honesty. Because I understand, like, it can be embarrassing, right? If my political affiliation was acting out in a way that I didn't vote for, I think it takes courage to be able to uh, call them out and hold them accountable. And I mean, I don't have a problem with that, right? Like, I don't have a problem if I voted for this politician, hey, man, you didn't do this thing. That's bad. That's wrong, right? So, I could definitely understand the position you're in. And I think what is important is that we all be honest enough where we can hold whoever we voted for accountable. So that way we're not all just in some random political cult. Because I'd rather people vote a certain way and, hold their politicians accountable versus I vote a certain way. Oh, well, put your hands up and just be like, all right, I'll just go along with this, because everybody's going to make mistakes. Politicians are always going to be politicians. But where I want us to make sure we don't lose sight is as voters, as people, as citizens, we don't lose our moral consciousness and we don't get sucked in with our sides, whatever side, and we can still remember this is right, this is wrong. The moment we blur those lines and we lose sight of that, it's done. Forget democracy, forget humanity, it's done. So thank you so much for just being honest. I appreciate that. I really, really do. Okay, that's enough. I can't keep talking about cheeks. I can't. Now you're gonna get me into the toxic masculine. I cannot keep talking about cheeks. Thank you for the support, but I can't keep going into cheeks. But thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let's go into we got a Lobo update for DC. And this is coming from Jason Momoa, who once again haven't even seen this man play the role, but we already know he's gonna kill this. He's going to murder this role because this is what he was born to do. This is what he does. The second he wakes up, the second he puts his head down at night, this man is Lobo. He might as well just walk around with this makeup all day, every day, because he is Lobo. I don't care what else he tries to do. He is Lobo. So he does talk about the future of Lobo in the DCU. And he comments here when he asked what he noticed creatively, the differences between the DCEU with Snyder and the DCU. He says, I think they're very different because they're also different characters. I came in on a wisp of an idea on Batman v Superman until Justice League hit. First of all, let's be honest, they were not that different. There's little to no the only difference between Lobo and Aquaman in Zack Snyder's universe is the uniform. That's the only difference. That's it. Hey, do y'all remember in Batman v Superman? What wasn't he riding on a motorcycle? Didn't he ride somebody's motorcycle or something? Or he was riding on something. There is no difference. And that's okay because I need him to lean into being Lobo more. But there was no real difference. Stop it. My man. Come on. Stop. Let's see. He said for his DCU future, I only know Lobo's in Supergirl. And so we'll see what the future of all that holds. I would love for his own thing to be coming out. He says, I don't know if there is. I think it's probably up to the audience how they feel about it, but I think he's got his own things mapped out, and I'm not privy to any of it. He's talking about Gunn, I believe. I think everyone's going to be James's career is just equal to what Zach's done, what they've built, and what their worlds are. They're amazing directors and world building. Maybe. Oh, I mean, listen. You know what? No, I'm not going. I will give Zack Snyder credit. He did build his own world, because when you watch anything from the DCEU, it is its own ecosystem. So you know what? Yes, he is correct. That is true. It is their own thing. And I would say this. I absolutely would love to see more of Lobo. I don't know if he needs a solo movie. Maybe he could do a solo movie. I'm not saying it couldn't work. I'm not saying that, because I do like Lobo's backstory, especially what he does to his home planet. That would be interesting to just see. Like it would be very interesting to see how James Gunn, if he ever made or greenlit a Lobo movie, how do you make that into a movie? Because honestly, it feels like it would be more maybe a TV series, maybe that. But anyway, I'm excited for this. I'm happy that Momoa is happy. I support Lobo. I want to see more of Lobo. We will have to wait and see where they go with it. But you guys let me know, how do you feel about Lobo in the DCU finally? Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. DJ, what you got? The Lobo pick alone already sold me. I don't need a trailer, not one. Take my money. I'm with you on that too. I'm with you. Like, yes, I'm here for it. I think it'll be easy to make. And I'm here for all of it. All right, we got two more topics, then we're gonna wrap up. We got some MCU rumors and updates that we will go through real quick. So a lot of y'all, I know some of y'all, I'll say some of y'all, I ain't gonna say a lot. Some of y'all, and I've heard this even on the Twitter streets, been like, hey, when are we gonna get rid of that Kevin Feige? Kevin Feige gotta go. Kevin Feige this, Kevin Feige that. Listen, I've told y'all this before. Kevin Feige in no way, shape, or form is perfect. Not at all. However, you cannot deny this man's track record. This man has done damn near what other studios would kill for as a producer by creating a billion-dollar franchise, a connected cinematic universe. Y'all didn't even know about cinematic universes until Kevin Feige. We had sequels, but we ain't have cinematic universes until Kevin Feige. Again, there's plenty of criticism that we can get to this man, but you can't take away the fact that he's also done an amazing historic job in Hollywood as well. So the question does come up: what happens with his future? Because a lot of rumors were going around that, hey, Kathleen Kennedy's gone. Now we know Filoni is taking over, but maybe he goes into Star Wars, because guess what? He loves him some Star Wars. Like, he is a Star Wars nerd. He loves Star Wars. Well, we got an update here. According to Deadline, Kevin Feige is not expected to step down as president of Marvel Studios anytime soon. Ooh-wee. Feige is currently focused on releasing Avengers Doomsday in December and relaunching the X-Men franchise. He said, I ain't going. I'm not leaving. I'm not effing leaving. Okay? He is not leaving. And you know what? Good for him. Because Kevin Feige started off with, well, he was with the Donners and Superman and all that, but he was involved with the Fox X-Men. He is passionate about the X-Men. So he wants, and here's the thing, and I've said this before, Marvel's biggest test it's not going to be these Avengers movies. It's going to be, what are you going to do with the X-Men? The two tests for both studios. DC, I don't care what you talking about with Superman, Supergirl, and all these other people. What you gonna do with Batman? Marvel, I don't care what you talking about with these Fantastic Four and all these other people. I don't care about none of that. What you gonna do with these X-Men? What you gonna do with them? So those are going to be the two pillars of franchises for the studios. And Kevin Feige wants to make sure, hey, listen, you don't have no more character right issues. You don't have no more copyright stuff or whatever that was holding you back in 2008, right? When you first started the MCU. So now you kicking this off and you starting off with your hands untied. What does that also mean? That means no excuses. That means whatever y'all give us, unbridled, unrestricted, you better hit that home run. Because if anybody sits here and talks about, oh, well, Marvel's dead and they're dying and they're blah, blah, blah. Well, this is going to be the real test. Because if X-Men are successful, ain't nobody going nowhere. So we'll have to wait and see where he goes with that. Moving on, we got an update for Wonder Man. A rumor. We got a rumor for Wonder Man. It says Marvel Studios is reportedly very close to greenlighting a second season of Wonder Man. So, again, it's just a rumor, but there have been a lot of positive reviews. I know I was kind of, lukewarm on it, and that's only because I'm just not a fan of the Hollywood patting Hollywood on the back stuff. I don't really I don't personally care for that, but I still enjoyed Wonder Man. It was fine, but it looks like maybe a season 2 could happen, and I would not be surprised if they do a season 2. Actually, that was part of my criticism. One of my criticisms was y'all gave me this Simon, Williams, you introduced me, but I don't know anything. I don't know how he got his powers. I don't know what's in this dude's future. Y'all left me hanging. So I would be interested in seeing where they go with this character and what his role in the MCU will be. That is definitely something I'm interested in. So, if this rumor holds true, I'm here for that to see where they go with it. Next up, Ryan Reynolds is reportedly focused on developing a new Deadpool movie. Good. Hey, what else were you going to do? This is the easiest thing. Ryan Reynolds knows his character in and out. He has not missed so far. Deadpool 1, 2, and 3. They have not missed. Keep it going. There's no reason. Now, he did say in previous interviews that he wants to pull back a little bit. He wants Deadpool to be kind of like the side, like a supporting character more so than anything. I don't know if that's going to work, sir. You can't make a movie that just made $1 billion and then say, okay, let me put this dude on the sideline. That ain't really going to work, right? You're not going to win the championship and then say, okay, now let me go be the sixth man. We're not going to have that. Okay. We need you to come up with another Deadpool movie. I'm glad that he's focused on it. I'm glad that he knows where the money resides. Make it work. So I'm here for that for sure to see what happens. Now, we do have another rumor. Take this for how you want. Maybe this actually no. This could be So here's the thing. It's a little spoilery only because the actor gave this up. So I don't know if you really want to hear about this too much. All right. I'm not going to say what he does. I won't say it. Magneto, played by Sir Ian, is reportedly being described as the MVP of Avengers Doomsday. That lets me know one thing. He finna die. Anytime you talk about the MVP, that he finna die. First of all, he's old. Second of all, Magneto is about that life. The character is about that life. And we already know we're dealing with variants, so them variants gonna go anyway. And we already saw in that little teaser that Cyclops finna die. Magneto definitely gonna die. So you could look this up on your own, but basically Magneto pulls an incredible feat, and I believe Ian McKellen, he had actually said it He was like, oops, I probably shouldn't have released that. I probably shouldn't have said that out loud. It was one of those little, Mark Ruffalo slip ups. Now I personally, I still want to see it, and I think seeing it will still be cool, but it sounds like Magneto's finna go out with a bang. He's about to go out with a bang, and that's gonna be the end of him. And you know what? That's fine. I feel like if you're going into this movie anticipating that these characters are going to continue, you are going in with the wrong expectations. Everybody in here, if you a legacy old person, you about to die. This gonna be your swan song. You're gonna have a dope scene, because one thing the Russos are gonna do, they do know how to give people some good solid scenes. So I think people are gonna have some great moments. Magneto, he out of there. Cyclops, you out of there. Listen, James Marsden, I like James, man. Nah, you out of there. We need a new, young, fresh Cyclops. Out of there. That's a wrap. Now this is interesting. Now, this is another rumor. Take this with a grain of salt. Now, we already know that Avengers Doomsday is coming out in December. And then after that, you're going to have Avengers Secret Wars, right? So this is kind of mimicking the same footsteps as Infinity War and Endgame, right? Well, it seems as though there's a chance that Secret Wars is not going to be exactly the way we thought it would be, because it says here there's reportedly a very high chance that Avengers Secret Wars splits into 2 parts. Y'all need to stop playing with me. Y'all need to stop playing. I would rather, because you already making me wait a year in between both movies, or however long. I'm already going to watch Doomsday to watch Dr. Doom wash everybody. Secret Wars, I don't care if that's a 4-hour movie. You don't need to break it up into parts for me. I'm fine. I'm there for the whole thing. If I fall asleep, I'll buy another ticket and watch it again. Because what y'all not going to keep doing is making me wait for all these continuations. I'm already waiting for 2 movies. Don't make me wait for 2, 3, 2.5. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Just give me the 4-hour cut. I know that's what y'all really want to do. Just give me the 4-hour cut and call it a day. The people that are going to complain about it, I get it, whatever. I don't care. They can watch the 2 parts by themselves when it comes to streaming. Give me both parts. Give me both parts. Chris Hemsworth was interviewed. He's in a movie with Mark Ruffalo and Halle Berry, Crime 101. And he actually brought this up about, think about it, Thor and Halle Berry played Storm. So he says he wants Storm and Thor to team up in Avengers Secret Wars. He says, I think Thor would be like, oh, we're the same. We have something in common. The incredible wielding of the weather patterns talent. I'm going to make sure Halle Berry is in the next one. Now, maybe he was joking or not. First of all, I'm mad that they haven't had Halle come back all this time. Second of all, I'm also mad that y'all just didn't call up Angela Bassett, like she's not sitting right there, and make up for the fact that y'all messed up by not casting her in the original X-Men movies. But I'd be here for this. God of Thunder, Queen, goddess of the storm, of lightning. Come on now. Give me that. Give me that. I'm here for that. If you're going to give us some popcorn flick stuff, give me Halle Berry, first of all, in anything. That I'm fine with this. But I would love to see this. Matter of fact, here's how you really do it. You go down and do what you did in the comic books. You put Thor up there, and then Storm shows up. Mjolnir to me. Yeah, that's right. Because Storm is also worthy. You have her wielding Mjolnir because she's the goddess is worthy. Talk about a cinematic moment. Mm, 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 mm. I'm here for that. I am here for that. All right. That's all for the MCU stuff. You guys let me know. What do you think about these things? Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. That's a dog. That brother starving. That brother is starving. I love that scene. I love that scene. Thank you so much. I heard it in Denzel's voice. That brother stopped. That's a good one. Oh man. The dancing dog, let's face it, Momoa was awful in Fast and Furious. Yeah, he was. Like, honestly, I didn't even think he was trying. I think he literally showed up that day and was just like, hey, what are my lines? Never mind. I'm just gonna do what I do. Cool, great. And Vin Diesel was like, go ahead, family. Like it was no prep. We just gonna show up, we gonna walk through it, and it just is what it is. I don't think they did any type of prep for that movie. JN, the Wonder Man episode was amazing. Yeah, the Doorman, yes, that was actually one of my favorite episodes. And I would like to see a continuation of that if they can. But yeah, in my review, when I was talking about one of my favorite episodes, that was actually it. That was definitely a really, really good one. And definitely helped with the world building as well. Let's see, JN. Hey, not so fast. I'm sorry, DJ. Hey, not so fast. They still need bodies for Secret Wars. Some might survive. Well, here's the thing. We're dealing with the multiverse. So because we're dealing with the multiverse, anybody can come back. You're probably going to see variants of all these different characters, and maybe it's not the actor that shows up. Maybe it's a different actor, but it's the same character. So this is one of the reasons why, unfortunately, I don't really believe in the stakes of Doomsday and Secret Wars, because the stakes that are going on right now, you're fixing it with time travel. You got a bunch of variants running around. It doesn't matter who dies. It doesn't, because they're just going to get replaced anyway. So I wouldn't get too attached. If anything, most people are going to go and they're, like I said, they're going to have their swan song. They're going to have like their nice send off one way or another. So I'm okay with it. And we'll see. Dancing Dog, I'm in my 60s and need to live long enough to see this MCU stuff wrap up and see a new T'Challa. That's all I asked for. Well, besides some other stuff, I appreciate it. I'm with you. I'm with you. Listen, every time these Avengers movies come up, every time, I always sit here and think, man, can I just live long enough to see it? I remember when the first Infinity War came out, I was just like, I need to be careful. I'm not going to speed on the highway. I'm going to make sure my seatbelt is on. I'm going to make sure the alarm system's up. Like, I was so careful because I was like, I cannot not see this. I just can't. Same thing with Endgame. I was like, listen, like, we can, one of the most highly anticipated movies ever. Nah, couldn't. So I hear you. I need them to make sure that they get that together. John E, go get Jade Cargill for Storm. No, thank you. Nope. I've told y'all this time and time again. Now, here's the thing. If you want to watch Jade Cargill as Storm, go watch wrestling and put the show on mute. That's how you watch her as Storm. When we're talking about movies, you cannot start with looks. Does she have the look? Absolutely. She looks like a walking comic book figure. But you always start with acting ability first. All love and respect to Jade. She ain't no actor. She's not. Storm is not the kind of character that you just show up with muscles and throw some lightning and walk off. That's not Storm. You actually need an actress with some gravitas. So again, respectfully, hail to the no. No. You want go watch wrestling. She dress up as Storm. She looks great. But nah, we're not doing that. Sternal, thank you so much again. Are you glad from release episodes weekly, or would you prefer it released at once without weekly episodes? There would be less E-Man reacts, just not good for my health. Yeah, that is correct. That is correct. So that's always been my mantra, right? Like, so one of the things that I talk about is certain shows demand weekly releases more than others. So for example, if From is a good 40 something minutes per episode. You have so much development, so many things happening in the stories that it's better to have the emotional weight of what happens each episode marinate with you every week. And yes, on a content creator side, I absolutely appreciate it weekly, because if From dropped all at once, it wouldn't be the same. Because the second somebody dies, guess what? You off to the next episode, and you forgot. You don't even care. And there's nothing to really talk about, right? So yeah, I absolutely love when any show, not just From, any show that gives us a good 45 minutes to an hour per episode, and you make it weekly. I like that far more than just drop 8 hours all at once, binge it. Who knows who watches it? Who knows who's finished it? It doesn't bring the sense of community that, again, if they're like Game of Thrones, when a show drops every week, Sopranos, The Wire, when they drop every week, it provides what we like to call water cooler talk. You go to the job at the water cooler. Hey, did you see that last episode? Man, that's great. Now you have something to talk about. Now you're giving the show some more life, some continuation. But yeah, if you dropping it all at once, like, hey, don't talk to me about it, man. I haven't finished it yet. I'm only on episode 3 while you done watched the whole season. It's not a good model. It's not a good model. It worked for Wonder Man, though. It definitely worked for Wonder Man to drop it all at once, but that's a different format. Thank you so much. All right, let's go into the last topic of tonight. And yes, it does have to do with the Black Panther. Black Panther. And this was a rumor. I saw this 2 weeks ago. I didn't want to say nothing about it, but then I was like, you know what? We gonna talk about it. I can talk about it. Talk about whatever I want. So the rumor is, and I'm sure many of you have already seen it, that supposedly Marvel Studios had met with actors, so more than one, like Aaron Pierre, to play a new Black Panther in Avengers Secret Wars. So let me start off with the good side of this. If this is true, the good side. So the good side of this is, one, Marvel was talking to more than one actor, especially for Avengers Secret Wars, right? Cool. I'm with you on that. Now, they didn't say if this was T'Challa, but I'm going to assume that they were talking about T'Challa. I'm going to assume that. So I like the fact that there's even a conversation of bringing T'Challa potentially back in Avengers Secret Wars. Should have already happened, but whatever. Better late than never. Two, if you're thinking about an Aaron Pierre, I'm trying to give the positives here. If you're thinking about an Aaron Pierre, nothing about Aaron Pierre looks like that T'Challa Jr. that we got in Wakanda Forever. Nothing. So that also lets me know, oh, you guys are finally open to a variant T'Challa showing up. Okay, right? No Junior. T'Challa's back. We got a variant. Cool. Those were the good points. Let me tell you what I don't like about this idea of casting or meeting with Aaron Pierre as Black Panther T'Challa for Marvel. Too many things are coming up that, to me, are yellow, orange, and maybe even red flags. Now, first, let me just say, and I have to preface this because I don't want anybody to think that I'm anti Aaron Pierre. I've said this before and I'll say it again. The brother is mad talented. He is very, very good at what he does. I loved him in Rebel Ridge. Thought he did a fantastic job. so on and so forth, right? So this is definitely not a question or critique on his ability at all. And I'm going to make sure I keep this more so about the professionalism and the business side of things. My issue with them talking to Aaron Pierre is it raises more questions than I think Marvel even wants to have to deal with. Now, starting off, let's just get the elephant out the room, right? The very first thing I'm pretty sure a whole lot of people are going to talk about is, why are you going for a light-skinned brother to play this African king, right? Now, we have to be careful with the colorism conversation, because I had this conversation with Aaron about Aaron Pierre when it came to Green Lantern playing John Stewart. Again, had nothing to do with his talent or ability. What it did have to do was that specific character of John Stewart, made by the creator. His actual creator was like, I wanted a dark skinned black man to play the role. Like, that's why he created him, to be darker skinned. So there was an intentionality in the representation of the character. And that's why it was so jarring to jump to a light-skinned black man to play that role. Again, if it was any other black character, that's a different story, right? Like if you made Aaron Pierre Bishop, I'm not tripping over that, because Bishop already got the curly hair and everything. He already looked like he might have had some, his sister looked biracial too, so that's a whole different story. The issue with a potential Aaron Pierre as T'Challa, and I'm saying this specifically as T'Challa, not some other random character, maybe Casper Cole or something. And if they did that, oh God. Okay. See, now we're getting down this whole rabbit hole. If they did cast a completely different character that was not T'Challa, now we go back into the issue of you're doing the mantle stuff all over again. The mantle idea is not a long-lasting good idea. It does not work. Nothing in the history of entertainment that we can speak to has worked from the perspective of passing of mantles. It doesn't matter if it's been something embedded in the story of Black Panther. That does not matter. You're not talking about comic books anymore. And even if you were, the comic books still had T'Challa in 95% of all their stories, regardless of who had the mantle. So you can't, if you're leaning on the idea of, oh, it's a mantle, anybody can have it, you already have lost sight of what makes this a compelling story. You've already lost sight of that. And if that's the sight and idea and perspective of the powers that be at Marvel, you're setting this character and this franchise up for failure. I'm telling you that right now. Mantles are not the answer. It's the characters who defines the mantle. That's y'all words, right? From Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's the ones that define those symbols that are important. And that's who T'Challa is. Secondly, if we are to go with this idea of a potential Aaron Pierre, this raises a couple questions. I'll start off first, not even with the business side. Let's just start off with the story side. Is it possible in African culture to have light-skinned people? Absolutely. It absolutely is. However, it is going to bring up more questions, because if you go to Africa right now, hey, we've had colonization, we've had, interracial marriages and stuff like that. So of course you're going to have all different types of colors and shades of Black people in Africa, because we live in a different world of colonization. What is the excuse for a Wakanda who is traditionally an isolationist country only as of a couple years ago, who did not integrate with the outside world at all for thousands of years? Where does light-skinned guy with green eyes show up from? What lineage did he come from? That's what I'm saying. Like now you're introducing things into the story that might not really work with what you're trying to build. Furthermore, and this now I'm going to get into the executive business side of things. This goes back to the fact that this franchise had problems from the beginning. And shout out to people like Chadwick Boseman for calling that out. Do you guys remember the story when it came to who was supposed to play Shuri? Do y'all remember who was supposed to play Shuri? It was Amandla Steinberg, was her name? Yeah, Stenberg. Amandla Stenberg. Do y'all remember her? Let me show her to you real quick. Yeah, right there. Amandla, she sat here and said, no, I don't want to play the role of Shuri because that should go to someone darker skinned and that can represent that role a whole lot better. My question is, why did Marvel even approach or entertain this to begin with? Why would you go with a fair, light-skinned woman to play this character to begin with? Now, again, shout out to her for having the moral clarity, the representation in mind to decline the role. She could have stepped right in and be like, hey, y'all, I'm Shuri. She could have done that. And we all would have been sitting here like, wait a minute. Hey, what was the king doing? Because Angela Bassett and the king, they don't look like they're going to pop out. We don't have no Huxtable Cosby Show situation. What is happening here? It wouldn't have added up. So you already have this situation where Marvel was tiptoeing around trying to cast light-skinned black folks for something that traditionally and canonically, I get, from the canon itself, this isolationist, never been colonized, never been enslaved, kept to themselves, black, chocolatey African nation. How? Let us also not forget the battle that Chadwick Boseman had with the powers that be. Well, I don't really know if we know who. Maybe it was somebody from Disney, whatever. Don't forget, they wanted the Wakandans to have English accents. The uncolonized, never enslaved, isolationist African country was going to, and technologically advanced country was going to adopt British English accents. The internal colonizer is just showing. That lack of insight is showing. If you did not have someone like Chadwick Boseman to be like, no, stop, that's dumb. That's what worries me. Because God rest his soul, he's not here. Who is going to stand up to whoever the hell even thought to go even talk to Aaron Pierre in the first place and be like, no, stop. Chadwick wouldn't even want that. And again, it's no slight against Aaron Pierre. It's not. But it's like, what are y'all doing? What are you trying to say? Why do you want to lighten up these roles? So, I'm nervous when it comes to stuff like this. It makes me a little bit concerned that now, of course, Nate Moore, Ryan Coogler, they have final say in a lot of this stuff. But again, I'm concerned that if you don't have that guard and that experience and that foresight that Chadwick brought to the stage, I don't know what's going to fall through the cracks. I don't know. Because even if that idea of the mantle stuff, anybody can have the mantle and all that, I guarantee you, I put it on everything. Matter of fact, I don't have to put it on everything. Chadwick's brother was basically like, nah, he wouldn't be down for that. I'm paraphrasing from Derek Boseman, but no, He wouldn't be just sitting here like, oh, just hand the mantle to everybody. Get rid of T'Challa. No, because they understood that's not where it is. It's with the character. So I wanted to play something while we were in this state of mind, and it was an interview. And this interview was, I want to give the proper credit to who did it. Give me 1 second, because I do want to make sure I give them the right credit. This is from, what's the channel name? The channel is Who Let Us Out. So shout out to Who Let Us Out. They did an interview with Aldous Hodge for Cross. And let's get it here. They did this interview for Cross, and Aldous Hodge, of course, has been asked and fan casted by us and many other people. What's it like? What do you feel? How do you feel about this constant talk about you being Black Panther and all of that? So he comments on that, and he gave a beautiful response. And I wanted to share that real quick. So let's go ahead and listen to what Brother Aldous had to say.
I'm a fan of obviously of the work, but when I think about Black Panther and anybody who kind of steps into that space, if they are to recast it, I believe what was so impactful about the film generally is the cultural impact. What Chadwick and Coogler laid down was foundation that was relevant and to a degree legacied, because there are a host of black kids, brown kids that can look up to something and see themselves in something bigger in value. That, to me, whoever steps into that space, they would have to complement and continue that legacy. So it's not necessarily, to me, stepping into a role, it's stepping into service, because that's what that movie means to people. So, if it's something that look, Marvel ain't called me, okay? I'm gonna tell you, ain't nobody called me. But if I was to ever get that call, and it was something that I felt, or a storyline that I felt complemented and added to the legacy they already initiated, then I would love to be a part of carrying, or be just a small part of being an asset to carry that on.
Jesus. Come on. It's an act of service. Do y'all know how deep that is? Do you understand what that means? That means you got to step in and do the work. And the work is to pick up the baton and to keep that going. And it is not a small, easy task, but it is an act of service. This is exactly the heart of what I've been saying when I've been talking about and campaigning and petitioning about. Simply keep T'Challa going and just recast eventually, however you want to do it, but do not let it stop, because what we need to do, we cannot on one hand say Chadwick was so amazing, Chadwick was the best, Chadwick this, and then say, okay, let's stop it, put it aside and forget it. Because that's what happens. When you do not recast, you forget. And it disappears. And it's done. Out of sight, out of mind. But if you recast, or in this case, get a variant, whatever, you keep the role going. I don't care how you want to play with it with the story. If you keep the role of T'Challa going, you continue the legacy that Chadwick Boseman started. Aldous Hodge gets it. And I hope that his level of understanding is also shared by those, the Ryan Cooglers, the Nate Moores, the Kevin Feige's. I hope they get that too. I hope that they understand that you can have your cake and eat it too. You can honor Chadwick Boseman and recast, and those two things don't have to conflict. Matter of fact, let me throw that in again. You can honor Chadwick Boseman, not have that kid grow up or whatever, and still have another recasted T'Challa, and all of that stuff not conflict. You're literally dealing with time travel. You're dealing with variants. You're dealing with multiverses. You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. It's never been so radically simple to, like, let me tell you something. Life does not give us second chances after death like that. Right? When we lose people, when we lose our life, that's it. There ain't no coming back like that. Unless, whatever, you talking about some miracle stuff. But usually it doesn't happen. But storytelling, we basically are, I don't want to say, I hate saying this, but like, we are kind of the gods of those stories. We can do whatever we want to do. Marvel can make up whatever they want to make up. And they have the full power to make or break Chad's legacy, to make or break the power and the cultural impact of Black Panther. They don't have to undo anything, and they can still keep it going. All I'm saying is there are options. And I love the fact and perspective of Aldous Hodge here. He totally gets it. But you guys let me know, how do you feel about all that in the comments down below? Damson is T'Challa. Thank you. Sure. If he wants to get it, I'm down with that. Duncan, what you got? How at this point they're doing everything in their power to dismiss and erase T'Challa from the live action media. They are anti-T'Challa at this point. Well, we have to wait and see if that's the case. The mere fact that they said that they did interview other actors and they're trying to get a Black Panther for Secret Wars, I can't say that yet. Not yet. Because if that Black Panther shows up in Secret Wars and he's like, hey y'all, my name is Casper Cole, now we can sit here and be like, okay, y'all really just don't care about T'Challa. Okay, like now you could really say that, but we have to wait and see. That's all I'm saying. We have to wait and see. I see Pete, what you got? Chadwick and said Disney were worried that African names would confuse fans and suggested using American names. Imagine T'Challa named Tyrone. Yeah. And this, unfortunately, it comes from a limited perspective. That comes from a limited perspective, because here's the thing. I don't hear that kind of stuff whenever what's his name? Hold on. What's his name? Because I want to make sure I get the name right. Oh, Jesus. Am I supposed to get that for? I can't get that. What's Red Guardian's name? What's Red Alexei Alanovich Shotakov? I don't hear y'all calling him Bill. Natalia Alianova Romanova. Y'all not calling her Nat? I mean, kind of sometimes, but like sometimes Tony would be like, hey, Nat, that's cool, but I'm just saying, like, y'all don't make us bend over backwards when it comes to all those like Greek and Viking names and Roman names and all them names from the Caucasus. No. If we got to struggle with them, y'all can struggle with some African names too. That's okay. So yeah, I fully reject that. And I'm glad. See, this is what I'm saying. We need that Chadwick energy. We need somebody there to be like, hey, stop. Don't do that. Hey, stop. That's not authentic. Because guess what? Authenticity is what usually has won over a lot of these films. Black Panther was a success because it was authentic. Sinners was a success because it felt authentic. The less tainting these studio heads and stuff do, notice how successful and culturally relevant and impactful these things end up being. Stop whitewashing stuff. If you could make it yourself, you would have, but you can't because you don't have that lived experience. Let people do what they do. Matter of fact, what was it? Now I know he's not the best example, but Apocalypto. That was Mel Gibson, I know, but the mere fact that Mel Gibson made Apocalypto all in that native language, the whole movie, I was in it. I was like, listen, I'll deal with the captions because it was a fantastic film. Love that movie, Apocalypto. Let's see, Mike, what you got? To me, the whole don't want to recast because of Chad was just BS. Because when has this ever been a factor in or outside of Marvel? Never. I keep stressing to people that once again, I know it's a broken record. Recasting has never been a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to the previous actor. It's never negatively impacted the previous actor. The only negative thing that could happen is you recast and it's just not as successful, but that's a risk. That's a risk with anything. But like it's never, you could sit here, recast, and nobody's gonna be like, oh man, this new actor really made that other actor look terrible. No, they didn't. No, that's not how it happens. That's never been in our discourse. Duncan, when he shows up in Secret Wars and says, my name is T'Challa, son of T'Challa, I'm done. Well, here's the thing. I don't think we will have that. Just my honest opinion. And honestly, if I'm Marvel, if you really want to play both sides, now don't get me wrong, and let me say this for the record, I would appreciate and prefer if he shows up and says, hey, y'all, I'm T'Challa, son of T'Chaka, from Wakanda. What's up, y'all? I'm from Universe 916. That's fine with me. That's what I would prefer. But if this person comes in and says, I'm from another universe, my name is T'Challa, my father was a great man, blah, blah, blah. If they keep it vague, it's a little shady. But at the same time, if they leave it ambiguous, at least he's not coming in saying, hey, y'all, my name is Toussaint. Like, But I know what my preference would be. Anyway, thank you. DJ, if they do not bring back T'Challa, I'm really going to be disappointed and not support Marvel. It hurts for me to say this, but enough is enough. Yeah, listen, like I said, this is the best time for them to do it. This is their moment, right? Because everything that happens after Secret Wars, that's what you're going to get moving forward. Ain't going to be all this time jumping, multiverse hopping, all this stuff. Like, that's it. Whatever they do after this point, that's what we're going to have. So this is one of the reasons why, I tried to ask Ryan Coogler about this, but the Russos hadn't started yet. I was just like, hey, wouldn't it be nice if the Russos gave you a fresh start and you could start over Black Panther, like with a clean slate? Because I get it. You might not want to start over the same story because of what Chadwick did, but if they reset time and give you a new, fresh landscape, wouldn't that be nice too? Wouldn't you like that? But he couldn't answer that because he was like, I don't know what the Russos are doing at that time when I asked him. Maybe he does now. I don't know. I'll have to ask him one day. We'll see. Raymond, what you got? Just something in honor of my birthday. Aldous for T'Challa. Hey, Raymond, happy birthday to you. Congratulations. Hope that you have a fantastic birthday and celebrate and have a good old time. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. All right, guys, that's all I got for today. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for coming out and helping with make this a fantastic, wonderful episode. I appreciate you always. Do we have anything? I don't think we have anything coming up yet, but I do have I gotta work on I gotta work on some recaps for y'all. I gotta work on some theory videos. And I gotta do some behind the scenes stuff, some other behind the scenes stuff to get that going. So yeah. All right. Yeah, I told y'all this was gonna be a short night. I got work to do. You guys know I'm always working for y'all. I'm always working for y'all. So stay tuned. We're gonna see if I can finish my secret mission. Tomorrow's gonna no, not tomorrow. Sunday's gonna be the big day where I can see if I can do it. I don't know if I can. I'm gonna try. If I can't, I'll let you know on Friday what that mission was, and we'll see. I'm gonna try and crash the internet. That's what I'm trying to do, but I don't know if I can do it. But I'm gonna try. We're gonna see. Anyway, stay tuned. I'll see you guys later. You know the routine. Wash your hands, wash your butts, and everything in between. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. Peace.
Say T'Challa, we need a recast. Chat would agree, and I truly believe that. Stories untold, I pray that we get to unfold. Don't kill him, we don't need to see that. A black man is king, I think that is crucial. If not for the grown-ups, the kids should move you. Representation, let it multiply. Stop telling the stories, how legacies die. We can explore the world of Wakanda by addition and not replacement. 1.3 billion, how was that? And I'm making a statement. Being pigeonholed to a role like there could be only one is deflating. Man, it's a mindset that ain't died yet, cause the lack of seeing our faces. Shuri can be the queen of the nation. Women should feast, we want elevation. Now wouldn't it be dope if they rose up together without doing something as cold as erasing them? We got respect for Ryan and Nate. They doing their best, they stuck in the middle, but I hope they think about what is at stake. Don't rush it, but please let the saga continue. Doubling down on Black Death is a trope we no longer want to handle. Wakanda forever, T'Challa forever. It's never been about the man, so what is we saying? This ain't about Phantom and getting my way. It's all for the love, it's not for the hate. No matter what people are trying to say, we cast T'Challa. We cast T'Challa.